All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Abhishek Kumar. The headlines. India and 5 Central Asian nations back inclusive peace process in Afghanistan. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj reaffirms New Delhi's commitment to economic reconstruction of the war-torn country. Gujarat becomes the first state to implement 10% reservation in jobs and education to economically weaker sections of general category. Government drafts 5-year action plan to address drug abuse in the country. All arrangements in place for the famous Kumbh Mela beginning in Prayagraj from tomorrow. Bengaluru Raptors win their maiden Premier Badminton League title. And in football, India to take on Bahrain in their final group match of AFC Asian Cup in Sharjah today. India and the 5 Central Asia nations have backed an inclusive peace process in Afghanistan that is Afghan-owned and Afghan-led. The understanding was reached at the first ever India-Central Asia dialogue in Uzbekistan capital Samarkand yesterday. The dialogue was chaired by External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and her Uzbek counterpart Abdul Aziz Kamilov. It was attended by the foreign ministers of Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Turkmenistan and the first deputy foreign minister of Kazakhstan.
Defense Minister Nirmala Sitharaman.
After the meeting, Ms. Swaraj reiterated India's commitment to the economic reconstruction of war-torn Afghanistan. She pointed out that no business development, no investment can take place in a country suffering from terrorism. The External Affairs Minister said to promote business development in the region, India agreed to fight the scourge of terrorism together. She offered to extend this partnership to Central Asia as well.
We are willing to extend this partnership to Central Asia as well, where we can bring our countries closer by taking up concrete projects. Inter alia, under our lines of credit and buyer's credit, and by sharing our expertise. In this connection, I propose the setting up of the India-Central Asia Development Group at G2G level.
A joint statement issued at the end of the dialogue said, India and the Central Asian countries, along with Afghanistan, condemn terrorism in all its forms and manifestations. Gujarat has become the first to implement 10% reservation in jobs and education to economically weaker sections of general category. The state government has announced that the benefits of the quota will be applicable from midnight tonight. More from our correspondent.
Chief Minister Vijay Rupani has announced that this decision will be effective from tomorrow after Makar Sankranti. With this, Gujarat becomes the first state to implement the new 10% quota bill passed by the parliament. The eligibility of the new quota will be applicable, for which the announcement for jobs and admissions have been made, but the process has not yet begun. Official release said this 10% quota for the economically weaker class from the general category will be over and above the existing 49% quota for SC, ST and OBC. Yogesh Pandya, AR News, Ahmedabad.
Meanwhile, Union HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar has said, under the new category, thousands of seats will be available in higher education institutions from the next academic session. Addressing a function in Jaipur last evening, Mr. Javadekar said, in June, when institutions open for the next session, thousands of seats in institutions like IITs, IIITs, NITs, Central Universities and others will be available. He termed the government's recent decision as a revolutionary step to deliver economic justice. The minister said the Congress and left parties had promised such steps in their election manifestos, but they did not take any decision. The government has drafted a 5-year action plan to address the problem of drug and substance abuse in the country. An official of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment said the National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction 2018 to 2023 aims to employ a multi-pronged strategy to address the issue. It involves education, de-addiction and rehabilitation of affected individuals and their families. The ministry has planned several measures, including coordination with implementing agencies for controlling the sale of sedatives, painkillers and muscle relaxant drugs and checking the online sale of drugs. Plans are also afoot for awareness generation through social, print, digital and online media and engagement of celebrities, besides strengthening the national toll-free helpline for drug prevention. The move comes after the ministry withdrew the draft National Drug Demand Reduction Policy from the cabinet. It had been pending for more than 5.5 years and was redrafted twice during the period. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman will witness a joint military drill involving the Army, the Air Force, the Navy and the Coast Guard in Andaman and Nicobar Islands today. She will witness 3 exercises, General Survival Exercise, Amphibious Drill and a joint drill. Ms. Sitharaman arrived in Port Blair yesterday on a 2-day visit to the islands. She will interact with troops and also inaugurate the second phase of the Married Accommodation Project, consisting of 868 dwelling units for troops at Bridgeganj Military Station. Andaman and Nicobar is also the Armed Forces Tri-Service Command. The archipelago is straddled strategically near the mouth of the Malacca Straits, which is an important sea lane of communication used by the navies of several countries. In Jammu and Kashmir, 2 Hizbul Mujahideen terrorists, including a juvenile, have been nabbed by Delhi and J&K police in a joint operation from Shopian. Police yesterday said one of those arrested has been identified. They were nabbed at special blockade set up in Shopian on Friday. The police said their special cells were identifying the various modules inspired by the Islamic State terror group and terrorists of Hizbul Mujahideen who are procuring weapons from North India. The Supreme Court is scheduled to hear today the appeal filed by former Congress leader Sajjan Kumar challenging the Delhi High Court verdict, convicting and sentencing him to life term in a 1984 anti-Sikh riots case. The 73-year-old leader had surrendered before a trial court in Delhi on the 31st of last month to serve the sentence. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website newsonair.nic.in. All arrangements have been put in place for the Kumbh Mela that begins at Prayagraj in Uttar Pradesh from tomorrow. The Kumbh, world's largest congregation of humanity at one place, will commence with a Shani Snan of Akhadas. The administration has already banned entry of vehicles into the Mela area since last night. More from our correspondent.
Total 10 flyovers, 6 underpasses, 250 kilometers roads in Kumbh area and 22 pontoon bridges have been constructed. Besides integrated control and command center, 1,400 CCTV cameras have been ensured monitoring. Along the establishment of more than 40,000 LED lights, 1,20,000 toilets have been set up. MS Yadav, AIR News, Lucknow.
The event will be broadcast and telecast live by All India Radio and Doordarshan. AIR has set up a separate 1 kilowatt FM transmitter, Kumbh Wani. The broadcast from Kumbh Wani can be heard from 5:55 AM and 10:05 PM every day in a radius of 35 kilometers. AIR for the first time has also made arrangements for live streaming on YouTube of all programs broadcast from Kumbh Wani. Doordarshan will start its telecast of special programs on Kumbh Mela from tomorrow. It will telecast about 3 hours programs each day. The harvest festival of Makar Sankranti is being celebrated in various parts of the country today. In Gujarat, the festival is being celebrated as the Festival of Kites. It is popularly known as Uttarayan throughout the state. The 4-day celebrations of the Makar Sankranti also began in Andhra Pradesh today. In West Bengal, nearly 16 lakh devotees from across the country have reached Ganga Sagar to take a holy dip at the confluence of the river Ganga and the Bay of Bengal on the occasion. In Assam, Uruka is being celebrated today on the eve of Magh or Bhogli Bihu, the post-harvest festival. President Ramnath Kovind has greeted the people on Makar Sankranti, Uttarayan and Bhogli Bihu. In a tweet, Mr. Kovind hoped that the festivals will bring happiness, peace and prosperity in the lives of people. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, and other agencies of the Ministry of Earth Sciences are working to create models to forecast occurrences of thunderstorms 6 to 12 hours in advance. IMD Additional Director General Mrityunjay Mohapatra said a team of scientists of the department, the Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, and the National Center for Medium-Range Weather Forecasting are working on models that could forecast probability of thunderstorms well in advance. Mr. Mohapatra also said the IMD is contemplating sending alerts on thunderstorms through Twitter. Last year in May, over 200 people died in thunderstorm incidents. In Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh alone, violent winds had killed nearly 180 people last year. And now news from the world of sports.
Bengaluru Raptors have won their first ever Premier Badminton League title. In the summit clash played at Bengaluru last night, the hosts edged out Mumbai Rockets with a 4-3 win. star player Kidambi Shrikant, Wu Jitrang and the men's doubles pair of Mohammad Ehsan and Hendra Satyavan won their matches for Bengaluru, guiding them to victory. On to football, India will clash with Bahrain in their third and final group match of the Asian Football Confederation AFC Asian Cup at Sharjah today. The match will kick off at 9:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. A victory or even a draw for India today will get them a place in the knockout stage for the first time. In tennis, the main draw of the Australian Open, the first of the 4 Grand Slams of the season, began in Melbourne this morning. All world-class players, including top seeds Novak Djokovic and Simona Halep, Serena Williams, Rafael Nadal, Roger Federer and Angelique Kerber are taking part in the tournament. India's Prajanesh Gunneswaran will be seen in action in men's singles with Leander Paes and Jeevan Nedunscheryan, and the pair of Rohan Bopanna and Dibit Sharan figuring in men's doubles. And Maharashtra continues to dominate the medals tally at the Khelo India Youth Games in Pune. The hosts now have a whopping 156 medals, 56 gold, 44 silver and 56 bronze. Delhi is second, while Haryana is third. Sabi Hassan Khan, AIR News.
The News Services Division of All India Radio in its weekly bilingual live phone-in program Public Speak will bring you a discussion tonight on Swachh Sarvekshan. This can be heard on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:30 p.m. Listeners can ask questions to the experts in our studio on toll-free telephone number 1800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by #AskAIR. This program is also available on Doordarshan DTH. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Sanjay Mattu.
Thank you, Abhishek. Justice Sikri turning down a post-retirement job at the Commonwealth Secretariat Arbitral Tribunal and the Congress opting to go it alone in the Lok Sabha polls in UP are the couple of stories given prominent headline space across dailies today. Pained over linking of London assignment to CBI panel decision, Justice Sikri pulls out, reports the Indian Express. While the Pioneer writes Justice Sikri rejects Plum Post offer, Congress seeks CBC's ouster. The Hindustan Times says Congress will contest all 80 seats in UP on its own, whereas the Indian Express quips left out by SP-BSP, Congress to fight all 80 UP seats on its own. The Hindustan Times quotes the Prime Minister on the recently opened Kartarpur corridor as saying, Kartarpur corridor will atone for sins of partition. Honey-trapped Jawan held for passing info to Pak ISI informs the Pioneer of an army Jawan who got arrested in Jaisalmer for his alleged links with the ISI. Posts on Kashmir, deities, tricolour. Facebook flags locally illegal content, notes the Indian Express, writing on the locally identified markers by Facebook for review. Change in winds to make capital Northwest India shiver this week, reports the DNA, while the Hindustan Times carries a picture of snow-covered cars parked near the Jammu-Srinagar highway, captioned drenched in white, to explain the intensifying cold wave conditions in North India. The Business Standard informs airlines set to face cap on airport slots on the government's move to curb monopolistic growth of airlines. In some relief to the farming community, a Financial Express headline notes centres cash transfer to cover 90% of sown area. And finally, linking health benefits with GDP growth, the Times of India reports of a study by the Energy and Resources Institute saying health is wealth, literally, how cycling can give GDP a boost. And with that, it's back to you, Abhishek.
Thank you, Sanjay. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India and 5 Central Asian nations back inclusive peace process in Afghanistan. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj reaffirms New Delhi's commitment to economic reconstruction of the war-torn country. Gujarat becomes the first state to implement 10% reservation in jobs and education to economically weaker sections of general category. Government drafts 5-year action plan to address drug abuse in the country. All arrangements in place for the famous Kumbh Mela beginning in Prayagraj from tomorrow. Bengaluru Raptors win their maiden Premier Badminton League title. And in football, India to take on Bahrain in their final group match of AFC Asian Cup in Sharjah today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.nic.in. With that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.